It is my pleasure to welcome you to the 2020 Convocation of Harvey Mudd College. Each year at the beginning of the fall term at institutions across the globe, students, faculty, and staff gather together to mark the beginning of the academic year with an opportunity for collective reflection and joyful anticipation. Our need to mark and celebrate the experience of coming together to learn seems even more meaningful, even more significant in this year when circumstances keep us geographically distant. This year's convocation gives us the opportunity to reaffirm that the key togetherness of Harvey Mudd College, that of partnership in learning, transcends physical boundaries. So today, while we are physically separated, I nonetheless welcome us all back to the academic community that is Harvey Mudd College. A particular welcome to our incoming class. We are excited to meet you. And to the returning students, faculty, and staff, welcome back. Many of you have spent the summer preparing for this most extraordinary semester, and it is important for us to have this moment to pause together as we embark. We have brought together a number of voices to help us mark Harvey Mudd's first virtual convocation. Today's ceremony will include remarks from our communities of trustees, alumni, parents, students, faculty, and staff, and will allow us to award two significant prizes. To begin, we'll hear from the chair of the HMC Board of Trustees, alumnus Jim Bean.
Greetings, I am Jim Bean, Harvey Mudd class of 77 and chair of the Board of Trustees. On behalf of the board, I welcome you to Harvey Mudd College. We're thrilled that you've decided to join us this fall. While this is a time of uncertainty and challenges, Harvey Mudd College is prepared to give you a unique, rigorous, and fun experience. The Board of Trustees has challenged the leadership, faculty, staff, and students of Harvey Mudd to be prepared for whatever would happen this fall. Normal in-person learning, hybrid in-person remote learning, or fully remote learning. We have been truly amazed at the great planning that has gone into each of these possibilities. As it turns out, the government and COVID have dictated that we are fully remote this fall. That is neither good nor bad, it just is. We must all be committed that the experience you have with Harvey Mudd this fall will be as transformative as our expectations demand. But you must also learn the fun of working with exceptional classmates and faculty in an environment designed to help every student reach their potential. That's quite a challenge given the high potentials that you all bring to the college. There will be social events, clubs, and discussion groups. You will collaborate with many other students to both learn and to socialize in a uniquely Harvey Mudd style. It will be different from the in-person experience, but will still be a very Harvey Mudd experience. When the pandemic is ready for us to return to hybrid or fully in person, we will all be ready for that as well. We must learn to live our lives fully with COVID as one environmental factor. Harvey Mudd College, and you students in particular, are exceptionally well prepared to lead us all in learning how to do that. In the meantime, we will find our personal joy in mathematics, engineering, chemistry, biology, physics, and computer science, and learning how they impact society, evolving each of you into agents of change prepared for graduate research, corporate leadership, or resolving global climate change. COVID is but one of many issues facing mankind that Harvey Mudd students will play a significant role in solving. So I challenge each of you to keep its impact on your trajectory in perspective. There's much to do, so let's get started. I look forward to meeting each of you in person and to learn how you dream of using your unusual gifts to benefit the world. We are all here to help you accomplish those goals. Thank you.
Our next remarks will come from Professor of Physics and Chair of the Faculty, Tom Donnelly.
Thank you, Lisa. So on behalf of the faculty, welcome to all of you. Welcome back to the sophomores, juniors, and seniors, and a hearty welcome to our new students, our Frosh. We're so pleased to have you guys here. The thrill of being back in class, even though we're remote, is real for me. I've been looking forward to this week for the last 2 or 3 weeks with a lot of anticipation, and it's great to be back in with you guys in the classes, and I know many of my colleagues feel very much the same way. I want to also say to the freshmen especially, this is an odd time, we all know, and I want to encourage you to reach out to your faculty as you try to, what the right word is here, as you try to adjust to life at college, which is a challenge under any circumstances, particularly so this year given COVID and everything else. And so I want to encourage you over the course of the semester to take advantage of office hours, take advantage of talking to your faculty. When things come up and you need help and you need a little bit of flexibility in what's going on, please do not be shy. That is why we're here. So take advantage of one of the many I was muted. Okay, talk with your faculty, ask for help, and welcome. Our next speaker will be Laura Larson, who is from the Board of Trustees and also a parent of a student who graduated in 2020. Laura.
Thank you, Tom. Welcome to the 2021 school year. I get asked a lot why I give to Mudd, and I always say the same thing, the mission statement. Since I've joined the board, I've had the opportunity to meet alums from every decade, and they all say the same thing. Their Mudd education, with its focus on creating a common language and facility across the STEM fields, gave them the flexibility through collaboration to solve complex problems and adapt to a changing world. I can't think of a time when we've ever needed those skills more. As I came to know the whole community, students, faculty, staff, and the administration, I could see that complex problem solving is what this community loves to do. And they're pretty amazing at it. They not only love to solve problems, they feel compelled to share those solutions with others. Mudd is an innovation generator. I like to tell people that giving to Mudd is investing in solving future problems. I'm pretty sure that none of you expected your fall 2020 classes to kick off this way. I know I didn't. You woke up in a world none of us would have chosen, be it your first or last year here. It's fair to say you were expecting things to look a bit different. We all were. So here's the good news. You're now part of a community which has problem solving in its DNA. Where others will be working to find ways to react, Mudd has already been creating ways to use our current situation, albeit unwanted, as an opportunity to find new ways to teach and to learn. At Mudd, you'll be part of the innovation that defines higher education for years to come. You have a front seat to the future, and here at Mudd, you'll be part of defining what that change looks like. Because we are engineers and scientists, as well as artists and writers, etc., we know that more than ever, you'll need a diverse choir of voices, all contributing in their unique way to solve these problems, and that includes you. I honestly can't imagine a more challenging or exciting time to be a Harvey Mudd student. The one thing about innovation, though, which often seems overlooked, is that innovation can be terrifying. Some people say hard, but if you're here, you can do hard. Hard is for problems that have answers, you just haven't found them yet. What you're about to do is be part of solving a problem no one has ever seen before, and that's real innovation. I've never in my lifetime seen a period where things have and will continue to change so rapidly and so profoundly. I believe that all of us in the Mudd community will have periods in the coming year which we find unsettling, unnerving, and when maybe we even lose faith in our ability to navigate these unknown waters. And that leads me to the second reason I give to Mudd, the people. You are now part of one of the most amazing, passionate, and caring places I've ever been. No one on this campus will leave a stone unturned if it means helping and supporting another Mudder. Our mission statement says that the work done here must be with an understanding of our impact on society, and that starts with our own community. I'm so excited for you. It is a rare thing to be at the start of something new, but I don't want to lose sight of the fact that innovation is complicated and complex, and you're likely to feel the unsettling effects of so much change. My advice for you is to stay connected. Reach out and speak up. Ask for help if you need it. Be there for others. It's who we are. Mudders are all about solving problems that make the world a better place, and doing so with an ever vigilant eye, with our hearts and our minds on how that will impact others. We're all in this together, and together we'll help shape the future. And now I'd like to introduce Ken Fendel, Professor of Art and Chair of the Department of Humanities, Social Sciences, and the Arts, who will announce our student awards.
Thank you, Laura. Hello, I'm Ken Fendel. Among the many important classes in the arts, humanities, and social sciences you take here at the Harvey Mudd College is our department's creative inquiry class, which is our contribution to the core curriculum. This seminar course gives students a chance to dive deep into topics of their choice and introduces students to inquiry, writing, and research in our department. The course culminates with a presentation and a substantial research paper on the students' chosen topics. Faculty who teach this course are asked to nominate papers for the first-year writing prize in the arts, humanities, and social sciences. A panel of departmental faculty then reads each nominated paper and decides on a recipient for the prize. I'm proud to announce this year's prize goes to Kathleen Durkin for her paper, Mirrored Opposites, Symmetric Claims About Sex Differences Within Pro and Anti-Suffrage Rhetoric. Kathleen was in Professor Vivian Hamilton's Science, Gender, and Sex section. In that section, students investigated the many ways in which scientists have made sense of sex differences over the past 2 centuries. They asked how and where scientists have drawn the boundary between male and female, and they have dealt with bodies and behaviors that don't conform. Kathleen did some impressive research for this paper, looking at the American suffrage movement and asking what kinds of claims were being made about female bodies and minds, both by supporters and opponents of women's right to vote. Kathleen analyzed arguments based in theology, as well as newer Darwinian theories, and showed that there was actually significant agreement about the nature of women on both sides, despite very different political aims. Panelists said of the paper, I really enjoyed reading about the topic of sex difference in pro and anti-suffrage rhetoric. The writing was clear and exhibited good structure, analysis, and use of sources. Another panelist said, the paper was well-researched and well-written, probably the strongest historically of all the papers, in very clear prose and well-explained reasoning. I felt very well cared for as a reader by this author. So I don't have a giant check to hand out because we're virtual. I urge you all to please give a virtual hand to Kathleen at this point, and I'm happy to introduce Michael Chamel, HMC class of 2002, trustee and co-chair of the Climate Change Working Group.
Thanks, Ken. So hi, everybody. So I wanted to quickly tell the story of when I first showed up at Mudd and was in sort of the position that you're all in now. So I dropped out of high school when I was 16 years old and flew 2,000 miles to join the class of 2002. And unfortunately, as I was getting ready to do that, I forgot to pack my sheets in my luggage. So I spent my first night at Mudd huddled under my towel with the South Dorm air conditioning blasting down on me at full strength. And so I'm not gonna lie, that first night I had a lot of questions. Why did I move so far from home? Why didn't I just wait a year like everybody else? And most importantly, was the air conditioning in South always that strong? The answer to which at the time was yes. But the next morning I woke up and the sun was streaming in my window. So I got up and headed to orientation. And I started to meet people who had the same interests that I did. I picked up my sheets. So things one by one kind of started to fall into place. Once classes started, I was hooked. So 4 sort of intensely exciting years flew by, and the person who emerged on the other side with a math degree was very different than the person who started. I was capable, versatile, and confident. So as you're all sort of beginning this new year, I understand that starting something new is never easy. Especially if you know that it's going to be really challenging, which I think we all know about the coming semester. Having said that, you're all here because you're ready, whether you know it yet or not. You have the absolute best team to support you, professors who absolutely love teaching, students who are really excited to learn and can't wait to work with you in your classes, and student affairs staff who are here to support you the whole way. Having said that, there will of course be bumps in the road. That's unavoidable. one of my maybe less favorite aspects of Mudd's culture is that sometimes we a little bit forget to value our growth and our accomplishments instead of the stress that we endured to get us to that point. So I just want everybody to sort of keep in mind that you should be kind to yourselves and be kind to those who follow in your footsteps as you navigate your time at Mudd. Having said that, if you do ever get into a conversation with upperclassmen or alumni who say, oh, well, you know, back in my day, it was so hard, you can just kind of smile and nod and say, yeah, you know, that sounds rough. But of course, I did it in the middle of a pandemic. So I think you have the ultimate trump card there. Anyway, since graduation, I've stayed connected to Mudd. And most recently, I've served on the Board of Trustees for the past 6 years. So when I was sitting where you are all virtually sitting in Convocation, I didn't know what the Board of Trustees was. So just very quickly, there's about 40 to 50 of us. It's alumni, parents, and other friends of the school across a lot of different professions. And we all have one job. And to sort of say that job in very personal terms, I have two daughters. I have a kindergartner and a second grader. And our job as trustees is to make sure that when my two girls go to choose their colleges, that Harvey Mudd still offers the best undergraduate STEM education in the country, probably in the world, in fact. What does that mean in practice? It means that we support the school financially, including paying tuition, full tuition annually. We hire the president, and we work with the entire Mudd community to set the strategic direction for the school. So one thing in particular, as far as strategic direction that I'm really excited about is, as Ken mentioned, I'm co-chairing a working group right now that's looking at climate change solutions education at Mudd at the undergraduate level. If you haven't heard the mission statement already 5 times during orientation, you for sure will know it by heart by the time orientation's over. But to paraphrase, it's basically Mudd's mission to educate scientists who can take the lead in solving problems that really matter to society. So the work of this working group is ongoing, but we really think that Mudd can offer something unique as far as climate change education goes. It's sort of oddly refreshing in the middle of a pandemic, which is this sort of all-consuming short-term crisis, to have like a medium-term crisis to kind of, you know, work on from time to time. It's a nice distraction. So anyway, hopefully you'll benefit from some of the aspects of the work that we're doing over the course of the next 4 years. Finally, you know, this semester is going to demand a lot of flexibility and creativity and problem solving, even to a degree that a normal, you know, sort of first semester at Mudd would not necessarily. Having said that, I'm confident that we're all up to the challenge. Mudd is filled with absolutely amazing people. So I just wanted to say welcome to one of the coolest places that you'll ever be a part of. Work hard, have fun, be kind to each other, but most importantly, be kind to yourselves. So thank you and good luck. And I'll now hand you over to Marissa Teo, who's the current ASHMIC president and class of 2022.
Thank you, Michael. Hi, everyone. And to the Frosh, you've heard me say this about 5 times now, but welcome to Mudd. My name is Marissa, and I'm a junior physics major from Singapore, currently living with another Mudd family who has generously welcomed me into their home. When I was first asked to speak at Convocation, I couldn't decide exactly what I wanted to say. I didn't know how to say something uplifting when, personally, optimism seems a little out of reach right now. 2020 has been hard for all of us. Last year's Frosh weren't able to finish a full year on campus. You all missed out on the high school graduation you had pictured and your last month with your friends. And all of us had to scramble for plans when schools closed and overcome the transition to online learning. After spending our summer adapting to ever-changing circumstances and handling the constant uncertainty about the fall semester, we finally reached the start of the school year. To the Frosh, I believe that I speak on behalf of the rest of the community when I say that we are so happy that you're here. You're all amazing for simultaneously facing the uncertainty from both the pandemic and the transition to the next stages of your life. That said, you have an unprecedented challenge ahead of you. Finding your place within any community is daunting, not to mention when we are all physically distanced. Adjusting to college classes can be difficult, and even more so remotely. And though the support network you would normally have may not be as physically accessible as if we were on campus, profs, Res Life, dorm presidents, and the rest of the Harvey Mudd community are all rallying behind you, only an email or Zoom call away. Though I find it hard to be optimistic about the bigger picture in the face of all the obstacles we have faced and will continue to face for the foreseeable future, I am optimistic that as a community, we will be able to see each other through these next few months with compassion, empathy, and thoughtfulness. Until we are able to reunite on campus and in person, I hope you all have a wonderful semester, and I look forward to seeing you all on Zoom. Now I'll pass on to our Vice President of Student Affairs and Dean of Students, Dr. G.
Hi, everyone. Since the beginning of May, I've been meeting with over 20 student leaders on a weekly basis to plan for how we can have a safe and engaged fall for our students, all students, regardless of whether they would live on or off campus. I want to acknowledge and thank the advisory board. These are student leaders amongst you who asked questions, worked on solutions, and gave voice to their peers in order for this fall experience to be good. And throughout our work together, I kept reminding them of the saying, don't let the perfect get in the way of the good. Over the last few weeks, there have been a lot of news articles featuring the behavior of college-age students having large gatherings and parties, despite warnings of the danger to themselves and others. Young people have been described as reckless and selfish. The Student Advisory Board, who I met with throughout the summer, know how much of an optimist and cheerleader I can be. I have hope, belief, and expectation that young people, our students, your peers, Mudders, will rise above what is being shown right now in the media. You see, I chose to be in student affairs because of my belief in the ability of young people to speak to and help solve society's great problems. For those who may be rolling their eyes in disbelief of what young people can do, here are just a few examples. Bell Hooks wrote her first book, Ain't I Woman, Black Women and Feminism, when she was 19. Malala Yousafzai was 11 years old when she gave her first public speech on the rights of girls to an education and was 17 when she won the Nobel Prize for Peace. Bill Gates was 20 when he co-founded Microsoft. Greta Thunberg was 15 when she started going to the Swedish parliament, urging them to take a stronger action on climate change. And the late John Lewis was 21 years old when he became one of the original 13 freedom riders in 1961 and was 23 when he became one of the lead organizers for the march in Washington. At the new student welcome, I shared with our students that when they applied for Mudd, they probably didn't imagine starting college on Zoom. This fall will not be perfect. It will not be ideal. There may be even a feeling of being incomplete, of missing all of those who belong to our community. But I also believe it can and will be good. On some days, maybe when you're making a new friend at Friday Night Trivia, it may even be close to perfect. 2 years ago at my first HMC Convocation, then student speaker and now graduating senior Omari Matthews spoke of being lost in the sauce. And he talked about finding your passion, your way, your impact at Mudd. And thinking of that made me realize that looking back can only be helpful if we use it to help impact the future. The privilege of having a higher education is balanced by having a great responsibility to be a model to the world. This past summer, young people across the world once again cried out to all of us to remind us that indeed Black Lives Matter. And our own students and young alumni formed a group, Hack for Black Lives, in order to create meaningful anti-racist solutions. Our own Mudd sub-team is continuing to work on their project, even though they're far away from each other and from the campus, as they attempt to have groundbreaking work in robotics, even in this remote learning environment. And so I want to end this speech with a challenge. I challenge our Mudders to change the stories about young people in the headlines so that they can see the good and great things you are capable of doing. And I'm asking that the first thing that you can do to make an impact is by registering and voting if you are able to do so. And if you are not able to do so, then encourage others to vote. This single act of putting your voice into action can be one of the great things you can do as scientists, artists, and humanitarians. I look forward to fall 2020 and experiencing how our students will create a more sustainable, equitable, and caring world. And now it gives me great pleasure to introduce our president, Maria Clave.
Thank you, Anna. So it's great to have you here, Frosh, even if it's only on Zoom. And I want to start by saying welcome to the beginning of the 2021 academic year. And as others have said, In fact, I think everyone has said this. This is a very unusual beginning to an academic year, one in which we're constantly adapting to the changes imposed by the realities of the COVID-19 pandemic. Just 11 days ago, we still expected to have about 500 students on campus with us. 10 days ago, we pivoted to being online only when the LA Department of Public Health changed its guidelines for colleges and universities. So one thing I want to start by saying is just to express my deep gratitude to all the members of our community for how they have responded to these challenges and to their commitments for offering our students an exceptional learning environment, despite it having to be fully online. Thank you. Now let me focus on welcoming our first-year students and providing some advice for the fall semester. We are incredibly happy to have you with us. I promise that over the next several weeks, you're going to learn more and have more fun than you can possibly imagine. You will also get to know some truly amazing people, our faculty, our staff, and the other students. Now, every convocation, I give a set of advice that's focused on dealing with the imposter syndrome. Given the level of rigor and challenge of our curriculum, it's common for students to wonder if they belong, to wonder if they're as talented as the other first-year students, to suspect that perhaps admission made a mistake. The reality is that many people who outwardly seem successful feel like an imposter throughout their lives. I do. I wake up every morning feeling like a complete failure. That's the voice on that side of my head. Fortunately, on the other side of my head, that one, there's a voice that says, I can change the world. So I have these two dueling ideas every single day. Failure, change the world. Well, I think that one of the reasons that many very successful people suffer from the imposter voice in their head is because, in fact, it makes you work harder and be more successful. The only downside of having the imposter voice in your brain is if it causes you not to aim high and be willing to risk failure. So when you're experiencing self-doubt, here's how to cope with it. Now, none of us planned what we're going to say today, and so much of the advice I'm going to give you has already been said by others. But that's just because it's super important, and also because it often takes hearing something 3 to 10 times before you actually remember it. Of course, not for Mudd students. Number 1, ask for help. There are so many people who can help. Your profs, academic excellence, the Writing Center, your peers, proctors and mentors, Dr. G, and the other DSA staff. Me, yes, I'm a president who loves to help students who would like to have help. So just email me. It's Clave, my last name, at hmc.edu. I read my own email and I do answer it. Asking for help and taking it is a huge part of what you will learn as a Mudder. It's one of the core competencies that will make you successful throughout your life. Learn it early, practice it often, do it before you even start to feel like a failure. Ask for help. And please join one of the Asking for Help Zoom meetings I will be hosting this fall for first-year students. Number 2, recognize that feeling like a failure is likely to make you more successful in the long run. We learn more from dealing with failure than from success. Feeling like a failure is often the result of having very high expectations for yourself, which is the reason that so many very successful people spend a lot of time feeling like a failure. Share your feelings with others. You will feel much less lonely when you realize how many other people have similar feelings. Celebrate your successes. So often we ignore the things that are going well and only focus on the problem areas. Number 5, surround yourself with people who encourage you. And one of the things that's truly wonderful about being a student at Mudd is that every student believes that it's important to help every other student succeed. Number 6, if one approach isn't working, try others. I happen to be incredibly stubborn. So sometimes when I'm hitting my head, running straight into a brick wall, there's actually a door that's just a few feet to one side. If I just would look over there and open the handle. And number 7, keep on working hard. Don't let your fears undermine your ability to give your best effort. I promise that if you do all of these things, you will learn and grow immensely. Please join me in making this year a year of learning and growth for all of us. And now I have the honor of announcing the winner of the Mudd Prize. This is really the highest award we give out to a member of faculty or staff at the college. The person who's going to win it doesn't know that he or she is going to win it. They are on this Zoom call. I have been assured. And they find out about winning it as I read out the description of what this is being awarded for. Usually we do this at commencement ceremonies. We didn't have a traditional commencement ceremony last May, and so we're doing it here at Convocation. For her selfless commitment to the mission of Harvey Mudd College for more than a decade, during which she has served with integrity, collegiality, kindness, and good humor. Okay, well, that's about half of our community. For giving unsparingly of her time, knowledge, and energy, working tirelessly with both the administration and faculty. Okay, that's most of everybody. For being a strategic leader, partnering with her staff to improve the gender diversity of the student body and to increase the number of first-generation students while continuing to improve the college's racial and ethnic diversity. For her direct involvement in the life of every Mudder for the past 13 years. For serving the greater community of higher education through her association with and leadership of national organizations such as the Common App, and for her consortial collaboration within the Claremont colleges. For raising the college's visibility through her national leadership, speaking at multiple professional conferences, talking at junior parents' nights at high schools across the country, and serving as a highly effective ambassador for Harvey Mudd College, both nationally and internationally. For her dedication to mentoring her staff, serving as a kind and thoughtful role model and friend, embracing and demonstrating healthy excellence, while serving up delicious desserts for celebrations both within her department and at other campus meetings. Tira Briggs, Vice President for Admission and Financial Aid, is hereby designated as the 2020 recipient of the Henry T. Mudd Prize. And Tira, there she is.
Wow, that was absolutely not expected, and I'm incredibly appreciative. I'm happy to see that our staff chat room is exploding right now, which I appreciate as well. I just want to say thank you so much. The faculty, staff, the students, everyone at Harvey Mudd has been so incredibly welcoming for the past 13 years. And to someone who was not coming from a math or science background, to be in a community that has taught me the beauty, the elegance, the love of math and science, and sort of the role that it plays in changing our world. And I am so incredibly honored for this recognition, and so grateful to my cabinet colleagues, to my incredible admission and financial aid staff, and all the support that they give me. And I can't wait to see how we can continue to transform the college and the future of STEM education for the years to come. So thank you again. It really means an incredible amount. And I wish I had a virtual background behind me, but I wasn't expecting to be on camera. So thank you so much.
Tara, I am so proud of you. You deserve this so much. And now I'm going to turn the floor over to Lisa Sullivan, our Dean of the Faculty.
Thank you, Maria. Congratulations, Tira. This concludes the formal component of today's convocation ceremony. Thank you so much for joining us. We invite you to linger for a brief video that will introduce you to some of Harvey Mudd's amazing students, and we wish you a safe, joyful, productive, and memorable academic year. Thank you.